placing some value on the the festival itself. How do you rate this move from Ebonyi State government?
I think most state governors have done well when it comes to the preparation for the sport festival. I mean, Oyo State, I've take for instance, I mean, they were geared up. I mean,
but we didn't get anything like this from Oyo State.
The commissioner, I mean, talked about it. I mean, there were ginger from there.
These ones were actually brought to the State House. I mean, they had a picture together. It made them feel that like you're going somewhere and you're not alone. We're rooting for you.
No, there are different ways. As much as that's what I used to say. I mean, there's a governor, there's a commissioner for a particular.
Definitely, it doesn't have to be.
So it doesn't have to be the governor.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really don't want to class them. I don't really want to class the government of Ebonyi State. But I know that in each state they prepare their guys. Even in Lagos State, I mean, we saw news about Sonwolo and the guys gingering their athletes right there. So I mean, I think it's no big deal. I just hope Ebonyi athletes right there participate well, because I mean, it looks like their states and their government have prepared them for the workload ahead, and it's going to be an important one. And Daniel, let me just talk about this. The state government projects that the festival will attract at least 15,000 people, providing opportunities for local businesses and boosting the hospitality sector. So about 15,000.
I'm concerned for their welfare there now.
No, but it looks like Ogun State are prepared for all of this. Now, they're going to be there for about a week, because it's March 16th, to 30th. So I think it's about a week, more than a week.
It's more than a week.
They've prepared for all of it. So we don't have to have issues about hospitality. It looks like it's well taken care of. But Nigeria now.
I was going to say that that when we say we are prepared, even the states, there were still issues about some of the some of the facilities they were going to use, like the swimming pool. We were hearing the other time that it's still not ready and all of that. So in my opinion, when I hear 15 people coming to a state, 15,000 participants. When you say 15,000 participants, that doesn't still cover the coaches, doesn't cover some other things that will come with them, their drivers, their medical teams and all of that. We're talking about 15,000 major participants now. So when we look at the larger number, it might be running into 25,000. I'm concerned. I just don't want something that will lead to a catastrophe and we'll be dragging ourselves again on the social media.
The last time it was held was 2022, and right now it's 2025. I feel like there's been a lot more of space. So they've had the edge of preparing, they've had everything together. I don't think we should have issues with the hospitality. I think if we get to hear something like that, I think that's going to be very, very bad, honestly. But I think Ogun State, with the preparation, it was postponed. It was not supposed to be this March 16th. It was supposed to be earlier than this year, and there was an extension. And right now it's now March 16th. So it looks like they've gotten everything together, and the governor has come out to say that they are well prepared. The torch of unity has gotten to their lane. So it looks like everything is covered. So should we hear something like that, I think it's going to be bad for Ogun State, but I think it's going to be an exciting one, Daniel. Looking at the preparation, people are talking about it. Athletes, we've not heard any concern from these guys. Everybody has settled well, and it looks like everything will be fine with them right there.
And don't you think we don't know you're already in class over there? We're coming to check on the class already, those on Facebook, on YouTube, to know exactly what's going on. Who are the ones present in class already? I know one man will be in class already. I know one man that will be in class already. And I'm very sure it's going to be Jola Osho Rio. That's the class captain that never misses the class. I mean, Jola Osho is not here. What a shock. Well, let's start from Abidemi Desiree. He said, where do you put Pretty the Finest? Well, Pretty the Finest is fine, is good. You just have to do some things that actually I see him not to be on the show this afternoon. But don't you worry. Pretty the Finest is fine. As his name says, Pretty is the finest. And we're back again. Sorry, we have to take that short break to do some things to make it better for you. I told you the National Sport Festival is on, and that's the story we on. And right where we were discussing that story, something came in, something you really love, something that will really give you up-to-date information on the ongoing National Sport Festival. And what was it that I said I got for you? Something really interesting. The National Sport Festival, I told you, kicks off, of course, since yesterday. Arrivals from everywhere, from every state. And if everything goes the way I want it to go, it's most likely we're going to hear from a correspondent that is on ground right there. Not just a correspondent, but of course, a participant in the competition. But while we're waiting for that, let's take some stories, of course, from some of our boys doing well, but they're still within the country. And this is coming from Rangers, Rangers International, and this is their top scorer saying something here. Xavier Isaac is saying his desire is to win the Federation Cup with Rangers, of course, International. And this is saying that his top scorer, Xavier Isaac, has revealed in an exclusive interview that his dream is to win the 2025 President Federation Cup with Coast City Flying Antelopes. Of course, Rangers are chasing their 7th Federation Cup title and will face Quora United on Wednesday, of course, to see to it that they clinch their 8th title. I mean, Bobola, is this a good dream? Do you think it's safe?
That's the only way for them. That's Rangers International. Talking about the league, they didn't finish at the top 3. As we all know, the top 3 is Remo Stars, Rivers United, and Abia Warriors. So the only hope for them to get to the continent is through the Federations Cup. And right now, I think it's in the semi-finals. I think when you look at the Federation Cup right now, the only toughest team for Rangers International is Ikorodu City. And Ikorodu City, if you look at the log, that's one funny thing about the NPFL. They are currently 4th. And if it was like in the Premier League, the 4th position will qualify you to the continent. If it was the Premier League, it would have qualified you to the UEFA Champions League or maybe the Europa League or whatever. It would at least qualify you to something in Europe, you understand? But in the NPFL it's different because the 4th position is not going to qualify you to anything. So Ikorodu City would be looking forward to taking that advantage going to the continent. And Rangers International, they won the league last year and they would be looking forward to cementing their place this year. So I think for Rangers International, it's going to be a good fight for them if they qualify for the Federations Cup, honestly. And I think that would be very, very great, honestly, because Rangers International have got the reputation when it comes to it. I mean, they've been in the league. I want Ikorodu City to be there. I love them. You know, I've always talked about them, the likes of Adelani and all of these guys, Ayomide. I love the way they play good football. But at the same time, Rangers International, like I always say, they are representing Nigeria. Everybody in the Confederation Cup are representing their country right there. South Africa, the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, they represent their country. So I would want someone of great experience. That's Rangers International. I mean, at this point in time, because last year, Eyimba didn't do well. Eyimba was the only one that did well. I mean, they got to the group stage. Every other person, the likes of Remo Stars, didn't get anywhere. El Kaneme Warriors also did not get anywhere. So right now, if Rangers International, with the experience, alongside Remo Stars with Rivers United, I think it's going to be great. All right, it's going to be great. And I told you the other time that we have someone to call in. Of course, right now he's already calling in. This is someone that actually is at the ongoing National Sport Festival. We're going to get to know he's not just an on-ground, of course, correspondent, but of course a participant at the festival. We can hear you now loud and clear. Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, my brother. How you doing, sir?
It's so nice. It's so nice to hear your voice this wonderful afternoon. Let's start quickly because we don't have much of the time. What's your name? Let me hear. What's your name? Tell the world your name.
My name is Afolabi Philip. Olamilekon.
All right, Olamilekon. We met a little bit not long ago, back in the days. I mean, we still remember. I knew you were a very good lover of football, but a lot have changed over the years. First, tell Nigerians, where have you been in the last couple of years?
Yeah, the last few years I've been out of the country to pursue my career for badminton.
Badminton?
Yeah.
Because I know you used to be a football player. Back then, you know, departmental competition, I know you used to represent our department very well.
Yeah, back then in school, I used to be a footballer but now I have to change career because of the system of the sport.
You mean system of sport in the country?
Yeah, because a lot of people focus more on football. Everybody wants to play football, so I have to make my decision of changing the career to badminton.
All right, maybe maybe it's very soon later we'll still bring you in for exclusive. But today we want to talk about the National Sport Festival. You are now in Nigeria, as I've been informed.
Yeah.
What brought you to Nigeria?
Presently I'm in Nigeria for festival national games in Ogun State.
Wow.
I was just invited with River State.
River State.
Yeah, River State come and represent them in the festival.
What category? What category will you be?
I'm playing badminton, singles category and doubles category.
Wow, badminton singles. Because I've seen you win a lot of awards. I follow you closely on Facebook, right there in Qatar. I've seen you win a lot of awards. You display them, even though I don't know what awards or categories they are. But coming in for Rivers United, I'm very sure it's not going to be free.
Yeah, all the award I'm winning in Qatar is generally a club award because most of the games they play over there is a club game.
Wow.
So it's club game they play over there. Any country can play. Anybody can come from the world and come to Qatar and play the club game.
Wow, and they are very well taken care of.
Yeah, they are because they love sports. So generally when they see sportsman, they will love you.
Wow. Okay, now let's go straight into the National Sport Festival deeper. You are now on ground. How is the reception?
Yeah.
How is everything at the Sport Festival right now?
So far, so good. Everything is nice. The preparation, I think, of the state is ready for this.
Okay.
Because everything from the venue. Because actually today, I think today is the open ceremony.
Yes.
But we are seeing the game village.
Okay.
The Bangkok University.
Okay.
We're presently in Bangkok University now. Maybe by next 2 hours, 3 hours, they will start the open ceremony. We are going to move to MKO Abiola Stadium for the open ceremony. Okay,
now talk about that as well. I want to ask you, you've seen, maybe you've not seen the ground you're going to use for your own game. Talk about badminton. Yeah, but you've been able to meet maybe some Nigerians who are also in the badminton game. Talking to them, looking at them, I mean, just relating with them. How can you compare your knowledge of the game compared to them? Do you think they've actually been trained? Do you feel like they are actually going to be a very good teammates with you?
Yeah, to be sincere with the question he asks, because generally badminton in Africa is just we can't compare with Asia. We can't compare with Asia because the lot of experiences, the lot of players that is in Asia, we can't compare with Nigerian, and the way they invest in badminton. Even some of the people, investment. Even some of the people don't know the meaning. Some of the people in Nigeria don't even know the meaning of badminton to this 21st century. So we can't compare them with the Asia's game. Because even in Qatar they play a lot of leagues, but Nigeria they only play national games. So the experience, I have more experience than
many of the people on the team.
But the difference is there. The difference is there.
Maybe that's why they brought you in all the way from Qatar. All right. Also, before I let you go, I mean, you've spent. Have you spent a night there? Did you get there yesterday or today? Yeah,
I get there last night.
How is the accommodation? The
accommodation is so good because they accommodate us in the students hostel in Bangkok University, sir.
Okay.
So and the place is so neat, clean.
Wow.
Very good environment, and the food is okay.
Wow, and the food is okay. I know you to be a lover of food.
Yeah. I tasted one this morning.
Wow. Well, that's the voice of my very own brother. Don't go yet, of course. I know Afolabi back then in school. Afolabi is a very strong lover of football. But all of a sudden, Afolabi, you are singing badminton now. Let me ask you: have you lost interest in football totally, or just what you?
No. You know, to me, to my own understanding, I believe football have a strong power in Nigeria. So, because of the strong power, I think everybody want to play football. For instance, now let me give you an instance. For me, changing my career from football. This is what I see back then. Yeah, to badminton. This is what I see when they come, because then I'm from Ondo State. So they can come for trials, and a lot of different people from different local government will come to Akure to come and play the trials. Maybe a man, the scotter can just choose only one person among 1 million people. So I was thinking, I think everybody wants to play football. And there are a lot of sports that people don't even know more about.
All right, let me ask something.
That's why I go for badminton.
Okay, let me ask something a little bit personal. Because I am a patriotic Nigeria and I want to represent my state. You came all the way from Qatar to represent Rivers United. Why not Ondo State? I know you are from Ondo State.
Yeah. No, I'm from Ondo State.
Okay.
I'm from Ondo State.
Okay, why did you represent?
The issue of me playing for Rivers State is, since I've left Nigeria, is the Rivers State that taking they are getting contact to me, like they bought my tickets, they bought the hotel luggage, everything that they did.
Wow, so Rivers United have actually been taking care of you. They've been the one behind your
Because Rivers State generally they invite not only me, like international player over there.
Wow.
Rivers State have slots for 15 to 20 people, foreign players from US. Yeah, from US, same from Qatar.
You've been in Qatar for over 2 years, because I know since we left school, you've just disappeared, and the next thing I saw was you playing badminton in Qatar. And you mean US United have been the one supporting that? I mean, River State, right? Sorry.
No, not really. But the only way I think is when they are hoping me to play for them at this festival. That is how they start.
How did they get you? How did they get to know you?
They see a lot of my posts on Facebook.
Yeah, I see a lot of that as well.
Yeah, on TikTok. So they reached out to me like, okay, so how are you doing there? How can we get a release from your club so that you can play for us? Which Ondo State can never do. They can't have, to maintain a player you have to spend a lot of money. Imagine money to get tickets.
Wow.
For your accommodation. I've been in Nigeria since last week now. Last week Wednesday.
Well. Before I discharge Afolabi, I mean, just a little information. Afolabi and I served in the same, little group in school like that, and Afolabi served as my. Remind me what you served as at that time. Was it?
Yeah, I was the drama
coordinator of that group. Yeah. It's so nice. It's so nice to see you flying. So nice to hear from you. And of course, this won't be the last call we're going to make. Yeah, we're still going to call you as the festival unfolds. You're going to serve us, of course, as our on-ground, correspondent there. Just help us put ears on ground and eyes alert for information that will be of help to people who are following the ongoing National Sport Festival. Once again, Afolabi, it's so nice having you on the show this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here also.
Thank you so much. Melody FM 100.7 FM is the station, and that's the voice of my brother from another mother, Afolabi, right there. We'll be back shortly. I mean, I want us to start from this, Bobola. There's a revelation from what we just heard from our friend here. That's Rivers United. I mean, sorry, I say Rivers United. That Rivers State has a lot of guys out there that they are sponsoring, that they even brought to the country to participate in the system. So, we always talk about the system not working, not having amenities and everything. How do you make of that?
That's why it's always very good to have people like this on an interview. You get to hear the truth. You get to understand why some things are there, some things are happening. And I obviously like the interview. I mean, listening to what Alabi has said, and obviously is going to be participating. First off, I think one of the things Rivers United, if you look at the previous winners,
River State.
You'll see River State there.
Definitely.
You will see River. As much as there's Delta State,
definitely
in
Rivers.
In the last few editions, there's been Delta State, but River State 2011, when they hosted it, they won it.
Wow.
You understand? So it just shows how much. Look at what he said. He said they don't have what he has. That's what Alabi said.
I mean, the ones on ground.
He's so confident that he will get the gold.
It's no pride. It's no pride.
He knows that.
Because I know he's a very humble guy.
Yeah, the competition is over for him because he knows that these guys, they don't even know certain things. The basic of it.
I forgot to wish him good there.
Yeah. But I think it's kudos to the River State government. Listening to it, you understand. I mean, most of the time.
They paid for his ticket, they lodged him in a place before they came into the...
You don't get to hear those information, but I love when states are investing in players. It shows that they've been monitoring this guy right up there.
Yeah.
And that's what, on the flip side, that's what social media would do for you.
Because he posts a lot on Facebook.
He posts a lot. So, I mean, to every young guy out there that's looking forward to doing sports, post your stuff, post your clips.
Definitely.
Someone
is watching.
Somebody's watching out there. You don't know who's going to reach out to you. But big ups to Alabi. I mean, listening to him, I think...
it's a
and also kudos
to
to Ogun State for an athlete to come out and say that for now it's been going well, and the reception is so nice.
Because he has nothing to say. If there's anything bad, he would have
said it. So I think it's kudos to them. And although I thought the opening ceremony was going to be tomorrow, maybe they had a shift of date. He said today, hopefully, and let's see how he unfolds. Because I mean, I love the fact that Alabi is going to be there
to be our correspondent,
giving us information right
Don't
there.
worry, Alabi is going to be there, to be our correspondent live there. I told you he's not just going to be a participant. Of course, he's also going to be a correspondent. I talked with him yesterday extensively on that. I mean, Alabi, for me, I think one of the things I actually learned from the interview again is when he made mention of the fact that he's not the only one.
Yeah.
And they know they are there. I mean, what I want to bring out of this is we know our system is not working. And somehow we put a kind of a mechanism in place where we feel like there are Nigerians out there. When it's time for their service, we go bring them in and we engage them. And it's so, I mean, you look at it, it's to me, in my own opinion, you're going to spend a lot of money bringing a kind of person like this home, pay for his ticket to and fro, he gets to return when he's done. It's not going to stay, and then his accommodation and everything. You get what I'm saying? So eventually, you will still spend more. Why can't we put these funds together? And I mean, every state set up standard facilities that can train people, and equip them for events like this. I mean, not all the time are we going to be going out and be spending a lot of money bringing in participants to help us. I mean, this is what I call sort of machineries, in my own opinion. Because the guy from Mundo now is representing Rivers State.
You know, at this point in time, most of the state, they just care about the laurels, they care about the gold, the silver, so they'll just do anything as much as. Although Ogun State had announced it earlier that foreign players would be allowed.
Definitely.
Now, it looks like the foreign players are Nigerian.
Yeah, Nigerian
in abroad. Yeah, so I thought it was other countries like Kenya and all of it, but it looks like what Alabi has said is foreign players, they are Nigerian, but they are in the diaspora. So I think it's not bad after all, but it just rings an alarm that we just need to up our game in Nigeria. He said something that there at his club side, he plays frequently, every time.
And win, they post a lot of things they won.
Yeah, and in Nigeria, it's just the sport festival. That's the only thing that brings them together. What about training? What about the behind the scenes? Some of these athletes, they personally train, you understand? But he has a club. He trains consistently. So there's a level to all of these things.
Definitely.
So, I mean, Alabi just opened our eyes to the fact that in Nigeria, we need to take sports serious. And what I mean by sports serious is not just football, because he encompasses all. Because everything is football.
We know India with cricket. We know Qatar now is coming in with...
Yeah, he mentioned it that everything is all about football. Maybe that was why he changed
That was
his
why,
career.
the competition is so high in Nigeria.
So he changed his career because, I mean, there's too much or too many people in the football segment. But there are other sports. We see other people win in the Olympics. It's not just football.
It's not just football.
In fact, the football is not even popular.
All top there in
it's not
Olympics.
Popular.
It's not at the top.
Because they made it to seem like
other games.
Yeah. Under 21s, they allow the under 21s and maybe about
three senior players.
So they don't want to make football popular. I think that's the intention. Let other sports, the likes of the athletics and all of it. So it's just an open eye to the government and to everybody in charge of sports, because definitely in each state we have commissioners for sports. What are they doing in their particular state to develop other sports, not just football? You understand? In Oyo State, let's take for instance, we talk about shooting stars. I mean, what about the badminton of Oyo State? What about the basketball? You understand? There's River Supers in Rivers. You understand? There's Rivers United. What about the basketball in your state? We don't get to hear anything.
You're still struggling with 3SC, talking about basketball.
So I think it's just a whole lot of work to do, and it looks like the sports festival, in summary, is going to be a very, very good game.
A very good one.
And I'm looking forward to the eventual happenings, and hopefully we're going to see a state from the southwest win, because Delta, Rivers, I mean Lagos, Ogun, what are you doing? Well, let's see the outcome of it.
All right, let's see the outcome of it. You know where to get all the gist as regards this National Sport Festival. All the story, as hot as it gets, you get it here on Melody 100.7 FM. You've heard the voice of course, our correspondent there, who is also, of course, a participant representing Rivers State. Yes.
What's yours? Why are you saying Rivers State?
I mean, we talk about, not all the time we call Rivers State when it's sport.
Yeah,
and it's National Sport Festival now, so we say Rivers State. So let's go to Facebook and pick some of the comments we have already. Don't forget, yesterday we actually have a winner. We got a winner from, of course, yesterday.
2 winners, to be precise.
2 winners, yeah. But I looked into I used the GBR, and I discovered we had 3 winners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The first winner actually came 10:23 p.m. and edited his prediction to favor himself.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So we saw the history and we discovered that it was edited. And then the second winner is the one I got it correctly, predicted on time. The third winner seems to have predicted a little
above time.
So
you just have a winner.
So we are still with a winner for now. You're still with a winner for now. So let's go to the Facebook page and see some of the comments we have there. I can imagine the class is filled already. And of course, as expected, you'll be wondering why we're not. Yeah, Jola Osho is in class already. Jola Osho is in class. Okay, let me start, of course, from the very first person in class this afternoon is Abidemi Desiree. He said, good afternoon, of course. Abidemi Desiree said, happy weekend, Daniel and Bobo. Happy weekend to you too. Abidemi Desiree said, it's another time to talk sport. Thank you. He said, where do you put Preach the Finest? We talked about it. Preach the Finest is fine. He's following us. He's watching us. And he's watching you live as well on Facebook. Yes, I can tell you that. Jola Shariyo, yes, I'm in class. But you came about 4 minutes late. You're welcome to class. Nureni Farouk, good afternoon. Jola Shariyo said, good afternoon, sport lovers. Glory be to God and the highest. Okay. We're greeting you as well. This is why you're going into Bible today. What happened? He said, my high point this week is, God, Jola Shariyo. Did you see that? I'll come back to you, please, because you're quoting Manchester United and you are quoting scripture, Isaiah. I mean,
talk about it. Let's hear it.
I mean, it's a lot. Okay, Jola Shariyo, this is a lot. He said the Bible. Oh no, you've covered the whole screen. Oh, whoever is putting that on the screen, you've covered the whole screen. He said, "Good afternoon, sport lovers. Glory to God in the highest. Great thing is done." The Bible says, "In everything we should give thanks." It's another Saturday to hear exciting word of sport in #1 radio stations. My high point this week is under 20 Flying Eagles defeating Senegal only to lose to South Africa, although they have secured the World Cup ticket. But I'm not really happy with them. My high point this week is also Taiwo Awoniyi, that is in coma, wishing him quick recovery. Well, he's recovering well, according to his brother Ola, that is there with him. Also, my high point this week is Remo Star defeating Ikorodu City. But how do you feel about that? Comfortably, and their trophy parade celebration. So my low point this week, okay, here we go, is that so painful Madrid is going trophyless this season. And my second low point is that the race for qualification of Champions League ticket in EPL, Chelsea defeating finished Manchester United, upcoming Europa League loser. Come next week, Wednesday. Stay tuned. Also, my low point is the EPL coach nominees. As for me, only 2 managers is correct. Slot and Thomas Frank. Because I wonder why Victor Premier, who's that, is doing what... Are you talking about? Is doing what Arsenal is doing that. Arsenal Mikel Arteta is not there. Is there and Arteta is not there. Okay. God bless Nigeria. It is unrighteous of Oiland. Needs to be studied very well. Okay. The unrighteousness of Oiland needs to be studied very well. Yesterday, he smuggled an Apple Watch into the field. Is that
yeah. He did.
Wow. For whatever reason, known to him.
Probably didn't know.
Known to him. He covered it with a strap. Wow, that's something. Paper, so that no one will notice. He had 0 shots on target and lost the ball about 13 times, more than the number of chances he created. Dear Manchester United fans, if Isaiah chapter 41 verse 11 to 12, all your angry enemies will lie down there and Dollar easy now. Easy now. Let's make this about sports. Kilo day Isaiah Bawo. Anyone who opposes you will be defeated and come to nothing. Oh, well, thank you, Jolasho Ariyo. You never failed. Nuruddin Farouk said, I greet you all. Well done. Jolasho Ariyo said, watching you from Oyo, up Inter Milan. We are cool. Okay, we're having a cool weather after the blessed rain. It's been raining. Wow. Mr. Daniel Olote, Omo Chelsea. Well, I'm not that one today. But Bola Olote, Omo Man U. Yeah. That's from Nuruddin Farouk. Also, Adetobe remarks said, good afternoon. Watching you from Agodi Gate, Ibadan, up Chelsea. Also, Adetobe remarks said, keep the good work up, guys. I love you. And of course, let's go. That's coming from Jolasho Ariyo. Pretty absent. Pretty is never absent. He's always with us. Only Drop said, good evening, guys. How was your day? I hope you are all are fine. It's another time to talk sport. Wishing Manchester City good luck in the FA Cup final. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. Any update on my darling club, Arsenal? You're always asking about updates from your club. We will give you updates about transfer stories. Mr. Philip, we are listening. Yeah, thank you. That's our guest today. So he's representing Rivers United. Yes, so Namoni Matao. Watching you from Lagos State, Ikeja. John Rose, thank you. John Rose, keep the good work up. Thank you. Bobola, you are single or married? This your voice is Jola Ojo Ariyo. I mean, it's Jola Ojo Ariyo, a lady? I don't get it again. This is Henry. Standing Salah. How are you standing today? Good afternoon. You're doing well. Thank you. Jola Ojo Ariyo, the only sports Ibadan can be good with is football and basketball. Okay, here's the basketball. You see the other events. Lack of money will not allow them to have more to expect, of course. Amin Balogun said, good afternoon, Jolasho Ariyo, Henry to be precise. Okay, you are Henry, so you are in class and you are saying Bobola's voices. I don't know. I fear you. Amin Balogun, yes, that's our winner. You are the winner of yesterday's prediction. Yes, I'm the one that won. Yes, we know, okay. Congratulations to you. Congratulations, you're going to get your prize. Amin Balogun, you're doing well. You say happy weekend. Well done, Bobola and Daniel. Thank you. He said, read it with your phone. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. Thank you so much. The comments, yes. It's done, it's read, and everything is read now. We still come back to that. Now let's go take some stories. Now we go straight to football because we've actually done enough with, of course, non-football related National Sport Festival and Hall. And after this breather, we go talk football. Of course, you're welcome back. We're still on Complete Sport. It's 100.7 Melody FM. Ibadan. You know what time it is. Let's take you to the story, of course, from football. And this is from one young man that actually stood out for Nigeria. Okay, I won't say just concluded. The ongoing, of course, the under 20, of course, CAF AFCON. And this is talk about ACOTS. CAF confirms French and Belgium, Germany all interested in signing, of course, that Nigerian shot stopper. The CAF Confederation of African Football, CAF, has informed that clubs in France, Belgium, and Germany are monitoring, of course, the progress of Ebenezer Ifeanyi ACOTS. The Flying Eagles' 15-year-old goalkeeper has made remarkable impact at the Total Energies CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations in 2025. Of course, ACOT rapid development began from Sporting Lagos Academy, and now he said we knew we have something special. So, said one of the former coaches in Nigeria during the tournament. He said he plays with maturity, and that's talking about a good player. He said maturity of someone that is 10 years older. Footwork, positioning.
Is that comment?
That's the comment of a coach. He said he's talking about Harcourt.
Okay, yeah.
He plays with maturity of someone that is 10 years older. Footwork of, his footwork, his positioning, his focus, and I mean, considering his age, 15.
Yeah. Okay, you want to get my opinion?
I mean, I want to get your opinion.
I thought you were going to say something.
I'm not going to say that.
Okay, so for ACOT, this in the AFCON under 20, I mean, if you talk about the performance, people that have performed well, you have to put ACOT there. The likes of Bamei, ACOT, maybe Alabi in the middle of the park, I think they've been exceptional. They were exceptional.
I think
they're still in the tournament. They're still playing it because it's still on subject. So they've been exceptional in this tournament. And honestly, for ACOT, he didn't start well. For me, he was making a little bit of mistake. But that's what you get to see from a very young guy, 15 years. And when you look at the journey of ACOT, he started at the Sporting Lagos Academy, when he was 10. So, I mean, his development, for him to get the under 20 AFCON, within the space of 5 years, it just shows that he's been consistent. He has it in him. And for ACOT, I love the fact that he showed himself in that penalty when he caught 2 penalties. The other one ended up hitting the bar, but it's still a save for him because at the end of the day, he didn't get into Nigerian sports. But he got injured. Yakub took over. He made a costly error. And Nigeria got defeated by South Africa. A goal scored from that young sensation, Tyler Smith. But all in all, I think he has been able to prove himself. That's what I used to say about this tournament. Tournaments like this is not even the World Cup.
It's not even the World Cup. He's already getting interest
offers
from Europe.
He's getting offers already. And that's why I said, if you have the opportunity to play for these levels, under 17, under 20, put in your best as a young player. Some of them, honestly, the strikers for me, and I don't want to mention names, they didn't put in their best.
No, why not mention names? They
are young players.
Yeah. Okay.
For somebody like Ariei, and I've been following Ariei for a long time. When he was in Beyond Limits, I went to go take our cup where he played there in the competition.
You expect more from them?
I expected more from him. He had clear chances against South Africa. In fact, in that South Africa game, we dominated them. The first half, we dominated them absolutely. The second half was maybe a bit shaky, but we should have scored 1 to 3 chances right there. But we didn't see all of that from them. By Ghana, Amule, who came on, all of these guys, nobody was able to prove himself. Go back to the under 17 when we had Victor James Osimhen. Look at the way he was firing goals in the World Cup. Look at Chukwueze. All of these guys, they were good. You understand? So, big advantage for some of them, but they did not take advantage of it. And the ones that have taken advantage, the likes of ACOT, Bamei, for me, surprised me. It should be in the news too because it was fantastic. Control that defense right there. But for ACOT, it should just keep up. It has a long way to go.
It's 15.
15. So when he's 17, when he's 18, when
he can't make a move right now. Still 15.
Still
he has to wait till 17 or 18.
He can't go to the likes of the Premier League. You have to at least. But the fact that you're getting offers, and you know one thing this offers will do to you. If you're going to the French side, if you go to the Belgian, German club.
But he can actually sign a professional deal right now.
He can't sign a professional deal, but he can start from.
But he can actually sign and waiting like the likes of Esteval of Brazil, most Brazilians.
Yeah, you can. He can be at the academy. He can be at the under 17. He can play in the under 17. Most of these guys that are even 19, 20 in Nigeria, when they make that move, they start from the under 17.
Definitely.
You understand? So, and I think it's going to help him more because he knows that right now I'm not in Nigeria anymore. I'm in Europe, and the project is going to be be very, very. It's going to go well for him. So big ups to him. Hopefully he recovers well for the injury. I don't know if he's going to be in the game for Nigeria. That's tomorrow. That's Sunday, because they will be playing against Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if. Yeah, is it Egypt? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's Egypt.
Egypt. So I don't know if he's going to be available, but hopefully he gets better, because young, getting that kind of injury, I think he needs to rest right now. Maybe just go back and rest. Yeah.
Maybe it's not enough to risk that kind of that kind of bright career. Well, let's talk about another Nigeria right now. Of course, everyone is praying for. Talk about Taiwo Awoniyi, and this is Northern Forest coming to say they are going to show support for Awoniyi against West Ham United. Yes, Northern Forest will show their support for Super Eagles forward Taiwo Awoniyi when they take on West Ham United on Sunday. And their coach Nuno Santos has described the build-up as being difficult due to players concerned for Awoniyi. I mean, a lot of things are coming in after that Awoniyi incident. Number one, now the Premier League is reviewing the offside decision. There won't be need for delay again. Because if that offside has been, called, there won't be need for the player running into post and in. I mean, I'm getting into coma like this.
Yeah.
Because we see this in Premier League or in football now. An offside is not taken. Things happen.
Yeah, a lot of players complained about it. They talked about the fact that maybe if the linesman had raised the flag, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah, but well, it's just one of those things we get to see in football, and I'm happy that he's recuperating very fast. That's Taiwo Awoniyi.
But do you think this is going to affect Nottingham Forest players?
Yeah,
I mean, they are going into the final game of the season
of the Champions League. I think it should be a motivation for them, honestly.
Motivation, because someone actually who has the motivation is now in a coma. Because that was what happened.
No. If at this point in time you guys are coming to go out there to respect Taiwo Awoniyi, you should do it.
So get a win for him.
Get a win for him. You understand? So it should be a big motivation for Awoniyi, honestly. But
as a Chelsea fan, I don't like the sound of that.
I feel you, but Awoniyi, honestly, maybe he has not gotten enough of games this season, but what he did for me was exceptional. He had that injury, and he still wants to continue to play. And that was where the owner of the club
got mad.
He wasn't happy with the situation. But footballers now, they are always anxious to play. They want to play, but
these are key games.
They are key games for him, and he has not gotten that opportunity. It's been Chris Wood. So when he gets that opportunity, he wants to play. But I just wish him speedy recovery. I heard that he's with his family right now, and he's been taken care of. But I mean, hopefully he gets back onto the field. We are wishing him well. We hope to get to see Awoniyi soon.
All right, we hope to see Awoniyi back on his feet soon. And this is another Nigerian. Talk about this lady. Finally, she's moving.
Yeah.
Rasheedat Ajibade beats farewell to Atletico Madrid ladies.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about where she's going. It's nice. She's had a very good 4 years in Spain. I'm not concerned about where she's moving to. If she's moving to, well, maybe Barcelona, that's fair enough. The competition is going to be tough for her. She might not be seeing too many matches, but I'm concerned about, because now she needs to start thinking about her future. You have to be playing good football. At Atletico Madrid, well, she made 138 appearances and scored 40 goals. And for the quality of Ajibade, I feel like she should have had more. Yeah. But she wasn't given so much.
Really
she wasn't given so much opportunity. But I'm more concerned about where she's going to now. There are no news about it yet. And for Ajibade,
I think she just want to be free first.
Free? I don't think there shouldn't be rest for her right now. She should be more focused about getting play times
and getting so that she can get wherever she wants to go to based on performance and not just based on.
If you look at the Super Eagles, I said Super Eagles. You see, I mean, football, the men's football has gone into our head because we get to see more of the men's football. We don't see the female football. But yeah, when you look at the Super Falcons, for Asisat Oshoala, she's won the best female player. She's won it. Now, when you look at the squad right now, would you think can match up to it? I think it's Ajibade. Ajibade. So she needs to get that playing time. She needs to get a club where she's going to score 30 goals, 20 goals, and match up that record. Remember, for the females, it's your club performance that determines how well they rate you in Africa. In the male situation, if there's an AFCON, then if you perform well at the AFCON, they're going to rate you high. But in the female category, how you perform, because Asisat Oshoala, for me, she doesn't perform so well with Nigeria. But when she was at Barca, she was scoring goals, and that's why they rated her as the CAF women and all of that, and she got about 4. So Rasheedat Ajibade, she needs to make that big move to a club where she's going to win laurels, not just goals. She's going to score goals. She's going to be starting. She's going to be playing consistently. All of these things matter. And I'm rooting for Ajibade. If you ask me who I love most in the Super Falcons squad, I love that girl.
Ajibade.
Her personal life, she takes it, extra serious. We see all of that. And also the way she plays football, you know that she's there. Her presence always shows on the pitch. I wish her all the best in her next move.
Well, all the best to Ajibade there. Yes, we will just take a breather, take time check, and we're back to now go proper into football, into Euros, transfers, the result of matches that have been played right now on the tables, of course, as it stands in Europe right now, especially in the European top 5 leagues. And when we'll be back, we will take all of that. Stay tuned. It's still Melody 100.7 FM and it's Complete Sport. This is just the halftime.
From Melody 100.7 FM, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. The time is 4 p.m.
You know too much about football than to give up after halftime. But before going into the second half proper, we check the Facebook page. We see some of the stories, some of the comments rather. And when we're done with that, we will now go and look at the tables, the news, the transfers as it's going on right now in the European side of football. And now let's go right into it. Yesterday, Manchester United and Chelsea slug it out at Stamford Bridge, right there in London. It wasn't a game to just say nothing about. It's a game you have to say everything about it. From first minute to the end of the game, it was Rick Cracker. You have to just sit at the edge of your seat watching how is it going to go. But eventually, Chelsea got the upper side by 1-0. Thanks to that goal from Marc Cucurella. Bobola.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Manchester United, Chelsea. How was that game?
Yeah, it was a very tough one. Both teams in the first half did not grieve for each other. Let me use the Nigerian word.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was so tough. Man U got a goal, but it was called offside by the referee.
But you agree it's offside?
Yeah, it's offside. Yeah, it's offside. Maguire was off. And also, we saw that penalty incident. This guy, that's the young sensation judge. He wanted to get a penalty, let me put it like that, but he didn't get it because there was no contact from Onana, and I don't expect a young player should be doing that. He should be thinking about scoring, not laying on the floor.
Definitely.
But he didn't get a yellow card. That was the surprising part of it. And
I think it was because it was a little bit close.
Nah, we should have been given a penalty because that was he didn't attempt to even touch the ball. He just wanted to fall. He wanted to claim that was a penalty. But talking about the game, I think he had a lot. When you look at the statistics of the game, good game from the likes of Rich James. Rich James, got the assist for Marco Correa. And for United, I didn't expect what they put out. In the first half, they really, really had Chelsea for barbecue chicken. They dominated them for me in the middle of the park.
Definitely.
Yeah, but their finisher, Oiland, I don't know what Oiland is doing in that team anymore. Oiland, for me, he didn't give his best. He should be more clinical. His hold-up play is so weak. And for a big striker like that and a young striker, I expect so much from him. But the likes of Mason Mount, or Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Maguire was also solid in that game. Onana, not bad. He had a couple of saves right there. But for Chelsea, important win for them. Yeah, it takes them up to the table. And right now, what they are thinking of is just winning Nottingham Forest. Right now, they are 66 points.
Because Aston Villa also won Nottingham yesterday.
Aston Villa won. So Man City now are back to the 6th position. So it's very, very tough. We're going to wait. We're going to wait till the last
final day.
Yeah, final day before we see what eventually happens at the top 5. But for me, the likes of Newcastle is still
very much in contention as well.
Yeah, because they are with 66 points. Imagine 3 teams, 66 points.
3 teams, yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa. I mean, I
think it's going to boil down to goal difference on final day.
It would have been different and it would have been nice if it was top 4. But right now it's top 5, so there's still a saving grace for one of the teams. But let's see what eventually happens. For Nottingham Forest, I don't think they can do too much right now. 62 points. Maybe if they win their last 2 games.
Maybe because they are playing Chelsea and they are playing Manchester United.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for them. For Chelsea will want to seal it up. But anything can happen in football.
It's football, it's not over.
Yeah, but for the game yesterday, good game for Chelsea, at least getting a win. Not the best performance.
At least this put their fate in their own hands.
Their own hands, yeah. Not the best performance.
Not the best performance.
Got the eventual.
But they did what they had to do.
Yeah, they did what they had to do.
All right, let's take a few more comments from what we have right here on Facebook. Yes, Jola Shario is saying, thanks for acknowledging the messages. I don't think also we have to do that because we feel you in this place. Without you guys, we just making noise. So Jola Shario said, one day myself go win. Yeah, just keep trying. One day you win, of course. Also, Jola Shario Henry said, they play my fans. Who's tackling him? Okay, Abide Ministry said, they play my fans. Jolasho, you've got someone that is saying you are not going to win. Well, of course, Abide Ministry said, okay, that's response between the two of them. Standing Salah said, my regards to the king of vibes. Yes, that's pretty the finest. He's listening to you, he's watching you right now. Also, Tolu Aniziko said, good afternoon. Tolu Aniziko said, I'm the one. He said, the one that before Bobola wear Man City jersey today. No, it's not Bobola wearing jersey. Man City jersey.
It's not me. It's Daniel.
This is Daniel, of course. He said, but he go shock you that Man City won't win today. Well, I don't care who wins among them. Tolu Aniziko, he said, right on. Nureni Farouk said, I thought we were going to miss the pretty the finest today, but you guys are doing well. Thank you. Although you both Olote, don't say that. Don't say that. Ken Jolu and Shegun said, welcome. Well done, guys. Keep up the good work. Dola Shario said, big motivation, okay. David Aloma said, good evening, David Aloma. Where's Pretty? Pretty is fine. That's his name. Pretty, the finest. Is fine. Also, David Aloma said, Pretty de Lagos. Are you tracking him? Pretty is right here. He's with us. He's in the land. He's in the city. And he's just doing some things to make things better for all of us. Also, Dola Shario is streaming live. He's streaming it live too. Thank you. Thank you for telling them that. Victor Aremu, good afternoon. Victor also said, good afternoon, watching you from Owode in Oyo. You're doing well. Another weekend to complete sports. On Victor Aremu, up Chelsea. Aremu Victor said, Chelsea will qualify for Champions League. Amen to that. Jolasho Ario, you are not talking about FA Cup final. That's where we're going now. We're going to Europe. The first half of the complete sport is, of course, to talk about non-football and other local stories. Now we go straight into it. We talked about Manchester United and Chelsea already. Bobola, let's look at the tables. You all are with us now. Let's look at the tables in the top 5 leagues. Where do we still have actions left?
Right now in the Premier League, I mean, we've just talked about the likes of Chelsea, Newcastle. Arsenal. There's still so much action in the Premier League.
The Premier League.
The first is sealed. for me, I think Arsenal have scaled through. The third, fourth, fifth, and maybe sixth position is still up for grabs. That's the Europa League and the Champions League spot. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. The likes of Newcastle, Chelsea, everybody are slugging it out there. For me, the Premier League, I'm talking about it, it's been competitive. It's been all to watch out for. We've seen young players come out to show themselves. The likes of Isak, fantastic this season, 23 goals for Newcastle, and he scored 60, also got 66 assists. And for Salah, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, Salah is the king.
Salah is the king. Yeah, I mean, thank God you're saying that
today. King of the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, Salah has done well.
Who's the king of the Premier League? He's King Salah
of the Premier League.
But let me show you this, because we talk about this the other time, and I am not going to raise an argument between Salah and anybody. But right now, in the top 5 European League, Salah is still the best with numbers. Because right now, we have Ballon d'Or 2025. I'm just going to bring this as just, by the way. Salah has 33 goals and 23 assists. And then we have Mbappe with 40 goals and 5 assists. We have Lautaro Martinez with 22 goals and 3 assists. We have Dembele in the 4th position with 33 goals and 11 assists. Rafinha with 34 goals and 22 assists. And then your golden boy, you're saying she win Ballon d'Or, has 17 goals and 21 assists. How do you get this together and then you're saying Salah is not king?
I don't judge players based on goals.
Goals and assists, of course.
You see, I judge players based on 2 things, Daniel.
Let's continue to look at the table. We'll come back to this. Let's continue to look at the table.
Yeah. So for the Premier League, it's all for grabs. When you look at it right now, the likes of Liverpool has scaled through Arsenal, Newcastle. I think for the Premier League, we just have to wait for game 38 right there, and that's when we're going to see the outcome of the eventual qualifiers for the likes of the Champions League and the Europa League.
There's only 6 points between Arsenal and, of course, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
And there are 2 more games to play for Nottingham Forest.
And 2 more games.
2 more games to play for Arsenal.
So Arsenal, for me, they are on the verge of qualifying. Nottingham Forest are in the 7th position.
They are in the 7th position, and yet
we're talking about them.
We should, because there are 2 more games for them to play.
Now I'm looking at the chances of it. Now, if Arsenal draws their next game, there's no way Nottingham Forest will be catching them.
And that's if they get the draw.
That's if they get a draw, yeah. But at the same time, I don't think Arsenal would want to bottle this one right now. And for Nottingham Forest, their matches now are tough.
Yeah, but they are playing with emotions now.
Yeah. And Arsenal, they're going to be facing Newcastle and Southampton. I've always said it that Southampton should be an easy walkover.
But Newcastle will not be. Because Newcastle is right behind them.
Yeah, Newcastle is right behind them. But at the same time, Arsenal should be able to get a draw in that one. Come on, they should be able to get a draw. So, for me, the eventual top 5, my prediction.
Yeah,
Liverpool would scale through. They've scaled through.
Liverpool is not in the competition, but Liverpool.
They've scaled through already. I just have to acknowledge them as the first. Arsenal will scale through. Newcastle will scale through. Chelsea Football Club.
There's only 1 point between Newcastle and Manchester City.
Yeah, I know. My eventual. I'm just talking about my top 5. Newcastle will scale through, and Manchester City will scale through. So Aston Villa for me is probably going to be out. They're going to be playing in the Europa League. That's what I think, honestly.
So you think Chelsea is going to be in the 5th?
Chelsea will qualify. Aston Villa,
they will play Nottingham Forest in the final game.
Is going to be Manchester United.
You know, one thing about the final game of the season is the guys knows that we finish this game, we go on holiday.
Yeah.
So what do you think will stop Nottingham Forest from ruining Chelsea's day?
For Nottingham Forest.
Because they could be doing, they could be doing Aston Villa a favor by maybe holding Chelsea to a draw.
One thing about Nottingham Forest, for me, they've bottled so many matches. Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, for me, they are not supposed to be in this conversation. Come on. There was a particular time that they were sealed up there.
Definitely.
In their last games,
they were right there up with
their last 3 games.
Arsenal.
When they faced Leicester City, Crystal Palace, and
they just dropped.
They had 2 draws, 1 lost.
They just dropped.
And before then, they defeated Tottenham. And they went back to losing to Everton. Aston Villa, they lost to Aston Villa. So they had everything up for grabs. If they had won Everton, if they had defeated Crystal Palace and Leicester City, maybe we would not be talking about Nottingham Forest in this conversation. Maybe it would have been Liverpool and maybe Nottingham Forest up there. So for me, they bottled it, and they had bottled it already.
Okay, well, let's look at the goal difference. If it boils down to goals, who has more goals? Manchester City, Chelsea, Newcastle United. This is another thing.
When you look at the goals,
they're very tight, 23, 20, 24.
amongst all of these people, I think it's Newcastle that has more goals.
16. I think no. Manchester City, 24 goals.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, goal difference. Yeah, Manchester City. Then Newcastle follows up. Arsenal has more goals than all of these teams. I don't want to put Arsenal in this conversation.
No. You have to put them there because
I don't want to put them
it's
there.
It's still 6 points between Arsenal and the 7th place, not even the 6th place. Between Arsenal and the 6th place is only 3 points.
What I think is Arsenal will beat Southampton.
Manchester City didn't beat Southampton.
Doesn't matter.
And Manchester City right now are in a better position than Arsenal.
Do you want to compare?
I'm not saying you should look at that.
Do you want to compare Man City and Arsenal this season?
At the moment, they are better side.
Arsenal are second in the
Manchester City are in the FA Cup final, and they are just 3 points shy.
Manchester City are currently 6th as it stands. Arsenal are second.
I get
and for me, they are top.
But they are playing a final right now.
But when you look at the goal difference, I think Arsenal has it up for grabs. For Manchester City, 24. Manchester City always score goals. Newcastle follows up. For Aston Villa, you see what I'm saying? They have the poor goal difference, 9. So even Nottingham Forest have more goals than them. You understand? So
let's not waste our time on England. We are going to Italian Serie A now. Get that ready while I take the starting lineup for the FA Cup final between Manchester City and Crystal Palace. The lineup is out, and this is the official one. In goal for Manchester City is Stefan Odegaard. Is the one that will be in goal. Ortega is going to be in goal, and playing from the back we have Badoy, Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, and of course Nico Real. And then we have Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Omar Mamosh, Sabinho, and of course Jeremy Doku playing in the middle and flanks. And of course Erling Haaland is the man to be the number 9. For our Crystal Palace, we have Den Henderson in goal. We have Chris Richards. We have Maxen. We have McGay. And defense, 3-man defense there. We have, of course, in the middle, we have Daniel Nunes, Adam Watson. We have Kamada, and of course, Mitchell. And of course, in the front row, we have Eberechi Eze, Ismail Assar, and of course, Mateta. You know, I had to say that name because Mateta is Teta at the moment.
Like my friend will always call Abubakar. That's the same way I like to call Mateta.
Let's just deal with this once and for all.
Yeah.
Look at this competition.
Yeah. Both of them have a very, very fine squad, honestly. Man City, but Man City, maybe they didn't perform at top level this season, but you know one thing about Pep Guardiola, he likes to go the season with at least a trophy. Yeah, that's one exceptional thing about Pep Guardiola. And for Crystal Palace, lately, Crystal Palace have been so good. Even in the Premier League, they've gotten everything right for them.
Definitely.
So, there might be a shocker to Man City in the game, but I think Pep Guardiola, he knows what he
knowing fully well that they could also be played in Europe.
Yeah, that's Crystal Palace. They'll be playing in the Europa League.
That's what I said. So he'll be playing the Europa League.
Big advantage.
That's another motivation for them.
Big advantage to Crystal Palace right there. But honestly, when you look at it side by side, I think Man City is a bigger club this season. Even though people say they struggle, they are still finishing in the top 5. Although they are currently 6th. So I think Pep Guardiola doesn't like to go the season unbeaten. It should be an easy win for Man City. And when you look at the squad sides, the likes of Erling Haaland, Jeremy Doku, I mean, just to have party after party after a long, maybe bad season for some of this Manchester City.
What's your prediction today?
I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory for Man City.
For Manchester City.
Yeah.
I think I see a lot of goals, but I don't know.
Yeah, Crystal Palace should score. Okay. They should score.
All right, let's go now to Italian Serie A. Bobola, let's go to the table in Italian Serie A. If you have the table, please, let's open the slates. The family from Facebook, are you still there? Yeah, I trust you guys. You are there. Of course, we have another big comment here, of course, from Victor Aremu. Okay, we're still waiting for more comments. We'll load it again. We never take our eyes off you guys in the class. We know we are doing this together. Are you in the Italian Serie A now, Bobola?
Yeah.
Let's look at the table. It seems to be over for Atlanta. Atlanta seems to have reached that place where they can compete again.
Yeah, but they've qualified
for the Champions League.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this two side. 2 more games to go. 77-78. 30 goal difference and 42 goal difference.
That's Napoli and
Inter Milan.
For Napoli, they're going to be facing Parma and Cagliari. And when you look at the match, I think for Napoli, they should be able to defeat Parma. They should be able to defeat Cagliari. I think it should be easy for them. But for these guys, on the other hand, that's Inter Milan. Inter Milan, they have a focus. They have the Champions League to think about. And when you look at their last game, most of the players were benched. They didn't start most of them. It was more or less their second team. Although some of those players in their second team are like wonderful because they should be starting in some other clubs. But
Definitely.
Napoli, for me, they know how to do this thing.
They had a draw in their last game.
They had a draw, which they shouldn't have done. That was against Genoa.
Genoa, yeah.
Yeah, Genoa, for me, they're a top side, honestly. They're a very, very top side. You can't just write them off. But for Anthony Conte, he knows how to seal his defense.
Definitely.
Just score one goal. Lukaku will just be there. They will just score one goal and it's off. And they're going to defend to the end of 90 minutes. So for Inter Milan, they have to focus the Champions League and the Serie A right now. And when you look at the Serie A, it's still very much tough for them right there. But they're going to be playing Como, informed side Como, Lazio.
The most informed team right now.
I don't want to call them informed.
No, the most informed in the Italian Serie A, even. 5 wins in the last 5 games.
5 games. So for Como, it's going to be a tough one. And Lazio too are also struggling.
And this Como are 10th.
No.
They are 10th right now on
That's
the
the best for me they can finish it. For Lazio, they are thinking of qualifying to the Champions League because they are trying to slug it out with Juventus. So it's going to be a tough one for Inter. Should Inter Milan not start the likes of Lautaro Martinez, Barella, if they start the other guys that played against the last game?
Como will hurt them.
Not even Como. I'm talking about Lazio.
Okay,
right
Lazio
will hurt them
yeah.
because Lazio and Juventus, it's a tough battle between them. Juventus are with 64 points. Same thing with Lazio. And they've got 2 games to go. One of the games against Inter Milan, that's for Lazio. And Lazio, at this point in time, not the best of season, but at least they can finish in the Champions League. That's an eye-opener for them. But let's see what happens at game 38. It's also going to end at game 38.
Right.
Tough competition from the Serie A as well as the Premier League. Every season, or every team in the top 5 of Europe have given their best.
Okay, it's a lot going on right now in the Bundesliga because it seems to be the final day in the Bundesliga right there. And the live score right now, most of them are in the 90th minute, and it's between Union Berlin and Augsburg. Is still 1-1 in the 94th minute already. That's in the final minutes of the game. Borussia Dortmund, of course, is defeating Austin Kiel by 3-0. Of course, Borussia Mönchengladbach is, of course, 1-0 down to Wolfsburg in 93rd minute as well. And of course, FC Heidenheim also there suffering in the hands of Werder Bremen by 4-1 in the 92nd minute. And of course, Freiburg, of course, also suffering in the hands of Frankfurt by 3-1. Bayern Munich have completed their own game, 4 emphatic goals to 0. Of course, that's defeating Hoffenheim away from home. We also saw the man Harry Kane on target, and of course, has an assist in that game. But it's going. Let me say, it's done in the Bundesliga right now.
Yeah, it's done.
Let's look at the table. And let's still see, because a few games left between Bayer Leverkusen 2-2 and with Mainz, and of course still going on is Leipzig and Stuttgart, still of course 3-2 in favor of Stuttgart right there. What do you think could still happen?
One of the disappointments is Freiburg. They're supposed to be in the Champions League spot right now, but Dortmund did wonders against Austrian Kiel.
They missed that by margin.
Yeah, why would you be losing when you're on the verge of qualifying for the Champions League? It would have been better way for them to make money because
they
playing
were close, so close.
Not even close. I'm so disappointed with them.
But
3-1, they're losing.
2 points.
No. Before then, we're on 55 points.
Okay.
Then Dortmund, they were on 54 points. Now, Freiburg should have won that game to be at the spot because they were already at 4th position. And Dortmund were at the 5th position. They would have qualified for the Europa League. Now, Dortmund won their game against Austrian Kiel, and now Freiburg are losing 3-1. In fact, I think the game is almost done, 3-1. And right now, Dortmund has moved to the top 4. So Freiburg would have had the advantage if they had won their game. Because you're seeing the sport. Just take advantage of it. Put all your best in it. Why would you get up to lose it? And also for Bayern Leverkusen, I don't know what has happened to them lately. Now they're drawing. And for me, why would they be drawing? That's Bayern Leverkusen. But now their spot for the Champions League has been sealed. So nothing to think much about. For Frankfurt, also qualified for the Champions League. Dortmund now, they've qualified too. it looks like they've had everything on guard right now. For Freiburg, I don't think they can do a comeback right there. For Mainz 05, they're currently playing a draw against Bayern Leverkusen. Maybe that was what made it so tough for Bayern Leverkusen. So Mainz are currently 6th, and it looks like they would be playing at the Conference League, taking up the likes of maybe Chelsea. They are going to be the new Chelsea.
Now let's look at the Spanish La Liga.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be very fun in the La Liga right now. The table is currently, Barcelona is already out of that European competition.
Winners, call them champions. Daniel, call them
champions yet.
They're champions already.
They've
been crowned.
Okay.
Just for the records.
Congratulations to Barcelona on behalf of Melody FM 100.7.
You have to do that.
All right, now it's still open in the European sports.
Yeah.
It's a little bit open. Yeah, 2 more games to go. Villarreal can still make it.
No, Villarreal, they've qualified for Champions League already.
Oh, they're 5-2.
Yeah. I don't think they've qualified. Yeah, Real Betis can still.
Real Betis can still do.
Yeah.
Still
if they win their next 2 games,
but they have got 5 points to bank on.
Yeah, 5 points. If they win their next 2 games, they should be climbing up. That's if Villarreal loses.
But Villarreal just need a draw to get out of this.
Yeah, they need a draw to be out of this.
Well, now look at the table. The gap. Is it so much between Real Madrid and Barcelona?
Well, Barcelona are crown champions, and
look at the wins. Barcelona 27 wins, Real Madrid 24 wins. I don't see that as too much.
It's 4.
No, 3 more wins, just 3 wins more than Madrid.
Which makes them the champions. So for Real Madrid, for me, it's a poor season for them.
Oh no!
With their caliber of players, having Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, nobody expected that they would perform like. They won the Champions League. I was expecting that this should be an easy flow for them, but they couldn't. So for Real Madrid, poor season.
Maybe we missed that. Now look at Arsenal and Liverpool. 18 wins to 25 wins.
Yeah.
In the Premier League.
Are you trying to say that Real Madrid
I'm just saying Real Madrid have tried. In my own opinion.
They did not try.
Because of the caliber of players. That's your problem with them.
Yes, I will say it confidently. Real Madrid, disappointing right from the first start of the season. I'm even surprised that they're second.
Take it easy on them.
As much as I like the Barcelona side, Real Madrid, they didn't put up a fight, honestly. Every El Clasico, they were defeated. Come on, so poor for them. Atletico Madrid, for me, those ones.
Real Madrid have the same wins as Liverpool, who is the champions of England.
Don't compare the intensity at the Premier League with La Liga.
Are you saying La Liga is better than the Premier League?
The Premier League is tougher.
Which one is better? Let me put that to you now.
Premier League, of course.
Than the La Liga?
Yes.
But La Liga has won more Ballon d'Ors and everything than the Premier League.
Well, I think maybe.
I don't think that's so.
The only two.
La Liga has produced more brilliant players.
Yeah, from the likes of Real Madrid and Barca. Those two.
Even Atletico Madrid. We've seen the Diego Forlan, the Bernardo Torres,
let's smuggle in Atletico Madrid. Those 3 things are the ones doing well. But in the Premier League, you can see the likes of. Now look at Nottingham Forest fighting. You understand? Look at when you see at Manchester United, there's currently 17. They defeated Atletico Bilbao. You understand? So the Premier League is so tough. You can't just write them off. That's why they were given a new slot. Also, the La Liga too were given a slot too, because they have 5 people contesting for the Champions League, but because they did well in Europe. But the Premier League, for me, high intensity. You understand? The only thing that the likes of the La Liga, maybe the Serie A have much more than the Premier League is the fact that their players are more technical. But any other thing, I think we just have to give it to the Premier League.
All right, before we take transfer stories, let's look at the games coming up tomorrow. Bobola, we've got here Arsenal, Newcastle United.
Yeah, that means we're going back to the Premier League.
The Premier League now.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Newcastle.
Why are you doing your hand like that?
I mean, these are two teams I'm just going to be watching tomorrow.
Well,
because whatever happens to them, it's going to be something that happens to all the team in the European competition.
Yeah, there will be a lot of matches tomorrow. The likes of Leicester City.
Leicester City is playing. Yeah. But I'm talking about the games that actually matters.
The key match.
Nottingham Forest and West Ham United and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Newcastle United.
If you realize, it's been Newcastle doing shiggy to Arsenal. When you look at their last outing, they defeated them 2-0 in the AFL Cup, and also the 2-0, it was home and away. Remember, the EFL Cup where they lost 2-0. The likes of Isak were the ones that did wonders for them. And the previous one, before those 2 EFL Cup, Newcastle had it for grab 1-0. And they've been a stop to Arsenal. They've always stopped Arsenal. So this time, Arsenal have what it takes now to fire back. Just get a win and seal your qualification. So for me, Newcastle, I think they would qualify eventually. But Arsenal should be able to get maybe 1 point or 3 points from that one. That's why I think, just to seal up the qualification right there. But it's going to be very tough, second and third. I mean, I don't want to do predictions right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at it and I'm like, what's going to be the fate of this game? Because this is one game. Should Arsenal want to leave their chance till the final day? Because one thing I can assure you is the miracle can happen. Southampton can defeat Arsenal. Should Arsenal play with Newcastle tomorrow and Newcastle get a win? And suddenly you will just see Arsenal out of Europe. And the whole world will be...
Why do you think Arsenal will be out? I don't think
I'm just
Arsenal
saying the
out.
chances are there. The chances are there.
The chances are there, but they are very slim.
But I'm still saying the chances are there.
You know one thing, the game is going to determine what's going to happen.
Tomorrow's game.
Yeah, tomorrow's game is going to determine what will eventually happen. Should Arsenal win, I think they're on the verge of qualifying.
Should they lose?
Should they lose? It's still open for them.
But the fans won't be happy that on the final day they won't be watching that game with the rest of mind.
Well, if Arsenal win tomorrow, and
they are done. Even a draw, they will call it. They will be
fine. They will qualify, yeah. But
they defeat tomorrow because Newcastle can do that.
But Newcastle are not a baby side. They are also taught too.
That's what I'm saying. So that Newcastle
the fans should just be all about Arsenal qualifying for the Champions League, whether by crook or by cranny or whatever. That is what they should be thinking about. Because Southampton, I mean, they are currently the 20th. You understand? As much as they did, hold Manchester City. At the end of 90 minutes with a draw, it doesn't mean that Arsenal will not win them. So the Arsenal-Newcastle tomorrow is going to be an open game. Newcastle could win, Arsenal could win, but for me, I just think Arsenal should be able to get at least a draw in that one. That's Newcastle also getting a draw. If both teams get a draw, they will just go to game 38 to look for a win, which I think Arsenal have it up for grab. For Newcastle, I think they should be able to win their last game. So for me, both teams will qualify. All right, both teams will qualify. It looks like you don't subscribe to it.
I mean, I just feel like that game is going to have a lot. That tomorrow's game is the final for Arsenal. Is the final
for Arsenal?
Why I said it's the final for them is should they lose that game tomorrow, I can almost say the season is over for them, because I know not what Southampton will play them in the final game. Southampton will play them the way they played City. And they will defeat Arsenal. It will be tough.
That's your
and if you have to play under that pressure, Bobola, if you have to play on the final game, you were fighting for the league, now the Champions League, and now all of a sudden you have to fight for a survivor. This can be something that maybe will be the show of the season. So Arsenal have a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do.
Doesn't get down to that. All right, now still, of course, in the class now, let's check again. I'm sure we're talking. You also have something to say about this. Yes, a lot of comments already in the class. Yes, we're saying something here. We have, okay, Jola Shario, thank you so much. He said, you are not talking about the FA Cup. We've done that. He said, I love that, Rhys James. Yes, we all love Rhys James if you're a Chelsea fans. He said, I thought you said you are... Ami Balogun in the studio. No, it's not in the studio. Ami Balogun is not in the studio. I said he's the winner, not in the studio. Okay, I didn't say we are going to have him in the studio. I said he's the winner. You should listen to it this afternoon. So put respect to calling my Inter Milan. Inter Milan, with respect. Nice one, guys. I love this Manchester City jersey. I will come and collect it. Nice one, guys. Samuel Akole, thank you. Also, I said, I hope giving us a little bit of hope for Champions League. Chelsea will not disappoint against Forest and also win us a trophy. Well, amen to that. He said, oh, today is the final league in the Bundesliga. Yeah, it's the final.
And also the French League on.
And of course, in the French, we haven't looked at the French leagues.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Please, let's look at the table now. Where do we still have something on? In the French League One. Someone said, oh, today is the final. Yeah, today is the final. Please keep it coming in class, keep it sharing. Let's hit a record mark today. Let's hit a record today. We can reach 100 comments today. We've not been there before. Let's comment something. How is it going down for Arsenal? How is it going down for Chelsea? The top 5 in, of course, the Premier League is going down. How do you see the table at the end of the season? So, Popola, the French League One.
Yeah, the French League One. We all know that PSG are up there. They've qualified. They've won the league. They won it. I mean, way back. So the second, the third, because in the French League One, it's just 3 teams that would qualify to the Champions League. The fourth would go on to play the playoffs. Now, if you win the playoffs, you're going to be at the Champions League. That's currently now Nice are the ones right there. So they're going to play in the playoff, and it's going to be a qualification process alongside other teams. So it's not that the current 4th position has qualified to the Champions League. You're going to play a playoff, and the 5th position would go to Europa, and Strasbourg, who is currently 6th, is going to play in the that's in the Conference League. Yeah. So right now it's so tough right there because Marseille are second with 62 points, Monaco at 61 points. Okay, it's the last game. Yeah. So for Marseille, just need a win. Monaco a win. I don't think Nice can get across to them right now because Nice are currently with 57 points alongside Lille and Strasbourg. So
Strasbourg,
the competition right now.
Let's talk about Strasbourg. They've been a very it's been a breakthrough here for them.
Yeah, breakthrough here for them. I didn't expect.
They came from the 2 seasons ago. They came into the French League One,
and now now
they are Europe.
They are
Europe bound
contesting for Europe.
So only Chelsea will be stopping. Will likely be hindering their chance of playing in the Champions League because they will not be able to play in the Champions League should Chelsea be in the Champions League.
That's Strasbourg.
Yeah, Strasbourg.
Yeah. Now, but they are currently 6th. They're going to be in the Conference League. Yeah, they should.
Okay, they have 3 representatives in the
Champions League. Yeah. So I think for Strasbourg, if
they still have a chance to be in the Europa League. Yeah, because right now it's all tied on the same point, 57 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where the competition lies. Nice, Lille, and Strasbourg.
And Strasbourg. Now their opponents. Who are they playing next?
So every one of them would want to get a win, but looks like
and Nice, it's the final game.
It's the final game, and looks like Nice right now had the highest when it comes to goal difference.
Goal difference, yes.
And they're currently 4th, so that's why they are there. So everything just depends on today's game. So if PSG...
Even Lyon is still in contention.
For the Conference League.
Yeah,
54 points right there. So that's for the Conference
But
League.
should anything happen, they might still be in contention for the champions, for the Europa League.
That's
if all of them lose and they score some goals.
Yeah, so that's when Lyon. But for me, Lyon... For me, poor. They started on high in the league, but right now I don't know why they are currently here. But they performed poorly. Where they should have won particular games, they lost it. So I mean, it's all the best to them, Lyon, if they don't eventually qualify for Europe this season. But Lille, Strasbourg, Nice, that's where the fight is going to be right now in the French League One. And well, we just have to wish them all the best.
Talk about their best players there. I just found a name here, Mason Greenwood.
Greenwood, that's Marcel. Yeah.
Wow.
Marcel. Yeah, I think
how he's bounced back.
It proved doubts wrong. Yeah, because nobody.
Imagine having that player in Manchester United right now.
Don't imagine.
Do you think you guys were a little bit harsh on him? I mean, do you think you guys were a little bit harsh on him?
He was a former player. You know one thing about top clubs, they don't like to have a dent.
Anything controversial.
Yeah, so. That was why even the fans called
definitely
for him to leave. So I understand why they had to do all of that. But it's
really a club of that stature.
So Marcel, he has done well. I mean, when you look at the league, but he's not even part of the he's not part of the player of the season.
And that's a funny thing. I'm beginning to think like, how is that even happening? Is it some kind of trying to silence him there too?
No, I think when you look at the PSG
19 goals and you're not in the player of the season.
When you look at the player of the season, it's more or less PSG players.
Yeah,
so
they've been dominant, of course. They're almost unbeaten all season.
Almost unbeaten, and you can't take them away. You understand? If it's possible, I should even have all of them in the
because we even have Bakola with 14 goals here.
Yeah, Bakola. There's Hakimi. If you look at their middle of the park, Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, all these guys are so good. So, and they proved really well in the Ligue 1 this season. All of the guys in the PSG squad were fantastic. So having all of them there for me, it's not even bad. But Mason Greenwood, he should have been smuggled at least. He should make an appearance. Maybe not winning it, maybe not being in the top 3, but he should have been there for me. But a good fight from PSG. I mean, they were solid this season and also going to be playing in the Champions League. So right now, the competition in the French League and what we should be talking about right now, or everybody should be putting eyes on, is Nice, Lille, and Strasbourg, because right now it's so tough amongst them. Same points, and three of them are looking forward to playing in Europe. Right now, they are currently at the spot of Europe, but who wants to finish in the Champions League? Who wants to finish in the Europa League? Who wants to play in the Conference League? That is what we should be talking about. And remember, Nantes, where our brother plays, I mean, Nigerian brother, that's Moses Simon. Also, should they lose their coming match, and let Havre win their game, they're going to be at the relegation zone. So it's going to be tough for them. But hopefully, Nantes win their next game.
All right, hopefully Nantes wins their next game. Let's go take some transfer story, guys. We won't go without taking transfer stories because a lot is happening right now. And of course, the Premier League, the La Liga, some deals are already going down. Of course, across all the European clubs and competitions. And this is a here we go already. This is confirmed right now. Breaking news. Jeremy Frimpong is now a Liverpool player, and this is after a 35 million release clause has been triggered and a 5-year deal medical to follow. It's done, it's sealed, and of course it's about to be delivered. Liverpool fans, you have a new player now. Of course, also let's go to Atletico Madrid where we see another news. Cesar Azpilicueta is about to leave Atletico Madrid at the end of the season. Chelsea fans will remember that man. Talk about the Chelsea captain. Cesar will be leaving Atletico Madrid at the end of the season. Also, another one is centre back. I mean, talk about another centre back to join Real Madrid. Yes, is either this summer or 2026. For, of course, talking about Ibrahim Kanote and, of course, Saliba, William Saliba there. Madrid, they are good at waiting for players to wait out to be free. I mean, they've done.
They love free transfers.
Rudiger, talk about Mbappe and two other players like that. They've waited, and now they are trying to wait for Saliba and Ibrahim Kanote of Liverpool. How do you think this will feel for owners?
Well, I like the fact that they're going for defenders first of all.
Definitely, they know exactly where their problem is.
Yeah, that's where their problem lies. The defense.
They already signed the Bournemouth 19-year-old.
Well,
you don't enjoy that so much.
I don't.
You look at the boy's size, so you're rating him based on his size, the way the guy looks.
I'm not even looking at that
because the guy is incredible. He's a very fine defender.
He's decent. He's not
that high.
Not high.
Yeah, he can.
For the news.
19 years. Okay, for the news. We're in the days of media.
And right now, what Madrid should be thinking about is a top defender, not somebody, not prospect. Fine, Barcelona, they love prospect. They love their academy boys, but right now they need a solid CB.
Wow.
That will stand for them. Maybe like Saliba. You know that, okay, next season, we're going to be seeing Saliba and Rudiger. Not one 19-year-old. Fine, the guy has a long way to go, but they need a fast replacement, fast one. Because Alaba, for me, Eda, Militao, all of these guys are injury players. Alaba, for me, he has not even played so many games. And that Asensio, fine, he has developed well, but he's not that defender that Madrid needs right now. If they want to contest, if they want to compete for the Spanish La Liga against that Barcelona side, and they want to do well in the Champions League next season, they need
players.
Not just a defender, a leader at the back that would match.
Someone that can bring the guys together and
yes.
the guys can respect.
And one thing Madrid are only just looking at is the CB position. The left back is something that they should be worrying about.
Yeah.
Falan Mendy and Fran Garcia are not that guys.
Not consistent.
They are not top guys. They should be looking for a left back. Should they seal the left back, seal the defense, and seal their DMF spot? Expect the best from Madrid, honestly. Let them sort out those three things. They have the money, they have everything off for grabs. So let them sort out all of these things now.
All right, still on transfer stories, Bobola. Sorry for cutting you because of our time. Official right now. Aston Villa, Everton, of course, have made it clear to Ashley Young and, of course, Ashmir Begovic and, of course, Joao Virginia that they will be leaving the club at the end of the season. These are guys that have been in Everton for a while now, and you don't know what they're doing there.
Ashley Young, I should be approaching 40 years
40
right
years
now. So nothing to offer for me anymore.
He's been there forever. In Premier League.
Yeah, it's been in the Premier League.
From Aston Villa, Agbolahon is an old man now, and Ashley Young is still playing football.
Yeah, so for Ashley Young, he should be thinking about retirement right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about his family. Approaching 40 years. The intensity of the Premier League.
It's just a
and
way.
For Everton, they didn't have everything smooth for them, but it was David Moyes that came and delivered them. So right now, they've survived. They're thinking of next season. They should be looking forward to bringing in new players, fresh leg, young players. And I think that's what they are trying to do. The likes of Ashley Young, they pay their dues, let them go. I think that is what they should be doing right now.
Okay. Another player that is, of course, making it clear to, of course, his team is Marcin Greenwood. He's saying to Marcelo that he wants to stay at the club next season, of course, to continue, of course, in the Champions League campaign. They will be back in Champions League next season. Talking about Olympic Marseille. It's been a while seeing them back in the Champions League.
Like I said this season, Marcin Greenwood, their star boy, was the one that held them through. Although at some point they were in close contest with PSG, but at some point they started to slip away little by little. Decided to lose matches, but now let's see what they will do at Europe. For me, I don't trust second and thirds from the likes of the Ligue 1. Maybe the Serie A. I don't think they perform well at the Champions League. Even the fifth position in the Premier League. Eventually, we see the fifth position. They would even perform well, better than all of this second place in the French Ligue 1 and the Bundesliga and all of it. So for Marcel, they've done well. Mason Greenwood hopefully remains there next season, and let's see what they would do at the Champions League. And you know, the Champions League has a new format, you understand? So it's going to be tough. They will be playing tough teams, definitely, because they will be playing amongst themselves. So let's see what they will perform at Champions League next season. Yeah.
Okay, another player that is about to, that is getting into news now is a player whose brother has been, been able to make it very well in football and still making it. Talk about Joe Bellingham. Frankfurt is saying they want to sign this young man. Joe Bellingham, we were hearing about him before in Sunderland, but this season has actually not been the brightest for him. But we see Sunderland, of course, in the playoffs and everything. They're about to fight for their chance to come back to Premier League right now.
Yeah, for Joe Bellingham, I've seen again where he played. He played in the middle of the park in that game. I think it was when he was in Birmingham. And
that was his best season. And
for me, not bad. But when you look at, I don't want to judge him with his brother.
With his brother, exactly. And that's why I feel a lot of people are doing, chilling in the market. You hear Bellingham and everybody wants to. Because when Chelsea signed Eden Hazard that time, they went for Torgan Hazard as well. Yeah. And it didn't go well with Torgan.
It didn't go well. But for me, Job is not up to the level as his brother. And if anybody...
And it's his brother's age already. Like, the age his brother was shining.
When he was shining at Dortmund. Dortmund, yeah. So, for Bellingham... That's Joe Bellingham. For people, they would think I'm talking about Joe Bellingham. Let me put it there.
Let's just say for Joe
Bellingham, it's high time for him to make that move to a bigger club. Hopefully, he does well. I don't want him to be on the bright side just like his brother. His brother is up there.
Definitely.
Let him just be at that club. Maybe Frankfurt's not bad because Frankfurt, they will be playing the Champions League.
And he will be getting chances very well.
I mean, slim chances right there because he's not going to just come into that team and walk there and be in the starting lineup. But you know one thing, he was named the AFL Young Player of the Season. Yeah, so Young Player of the Season.
And Bundesliga seems to be a very good place to hide, to start. Because we saw the likes of Erling Haaland went there before they came into the center of the...
Young Player of the Season should be able to get a decent club abroad. And I think Frankfurt, for me, a decent side, it wouldn't be in the news so well. If you're performing well, a club will just be looking at you a little by little, you're getting your name. Maybe not like Jude Bellingham, but at least Job will be able to make his name in football.
Now, let's talk about the striker problem we have in football now. There are not many strikers in football right now.
Yeah, top strikers.
Top strikers.
Yeah, because Oilon for me.
Jackson for me. So let's talk about proper striker in football right now.
Yeah.
I think there are about, maybe if you talk about strikers that might be available, talking about maybe 4 of them. Isak, Nuno, the one, was in Liverpool.
Oh, that's Darwin Núñez.
Darwin Núñez, Gyökeres, and of course Osimhen. 4 strikers. And when you look at the teams, top teams that need strikers now, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, PSG, even Real Madrid won't mind or Barcelona.
First of all, take away Núñez. Away from them. It should not be mentioned.
But I still feel Núñez is still a little bit above the class of Jackson and Oiland.
If you are in a Liverpool squad,
he's got some great goals. I saw some of his goals the other day.
He has scored some great goals. He has lost clear chances.
Maybe it's about maybe it's about the club he's currently playing with. Maybe the tempo at Liverpool or something. Because it was great at Benfica before he came into Liverpool.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I used to say. If you are showing yourself at the likes of Benfica, you're showing yourself in the Portuguese league, in the Turkish league, The Premier League is different. The pressure is high.
But it hasn't been so bad.
He has been bad, Daniel. I'll come out to say Darwin Núñez is not that striker.
I wish you can show some of his goals. He has scored some great goals.
He has scored some goals, yes. And although, like
his height, his shot power, some of the goals he scored in 90-something minutes, so save Liverpool.
It doesn't mean
like Divock Origi.
For me, Darwin Núñez is not that guy. He's not in that class of Alexander Isak. He's not in that class of Victor James Osimhen.
Okay, now for these 4 strikers, they'll be making move. We know, like, definitely
most likely
Osimhen is moving. Gyökeres is moving. I know of these 2 strikers. They will be moving.
Are you the agent?
I know very sure. All these strikers feel like the show is happening, and we're talking about Lamine Yamal and all of these guys winning Ballon d'Or. All of them feel like this is their shot. Because if Osimhen was playing in Manchester City, if he's currently in Manchester City or Chelsea, and he has scored the amount of goals he has scored in, of course, in Turkey now, Chelsea will be at the top of the table, or maybe second place of the table, and maybe playing final of the FA Cup today. And that means Osimhen will be in the news for Ballon d'Or. They'll be in contention. So right now, most of these guys are looking at, let's go right there and also get into the news.
Yeah.
Where will you want this? Where do you see these guys fitting into?
Like the likes of
Gyökeres now, for example.
Gyökeres, there's a strong link to Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, we've been saying Gyökeres to Arsenal, and for me, Gyökeres is going to be a good fit for Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, so if Gyökeres makes that move to Arsenal, it's going to be a solid place for him to start in the Premier League. But you know one thing, Gyökeres is around 27, 26.
And people don't look at that side because he's already.
So if he plays 3 seasons in the Premier League, hopefully, he's going to be at his prime. Currently, he's at his prime. So I think he's going to do well with Arsenal. So for me, Gyökeres to Arsenal, I think is nice. Yeah. Now, for Osimhen making that move to the Premier League. Now, I've always said it that I love Osimhen to go to PSG because less pressure. It's one of the top 5 leagues, maybe not as competitive like the Premier League, but at PSG, one thing is sure, Laurel winning the Ligue 1 for me is sure for him, and they don't have an outright striker. It's been Dembele playing that position, so they need a striker too. But in the Premier League, Chelsea has been in the move, and Osimhen has always admired Chelsea right from time, talking about the likes of the legends like Didier Drogba. He has always talked about it. So it looks like Osimhen might make that move to Chelsea. So if Osimhen goes to Chelsea, you know one thing, the name will ring more. If he performs well, the name will ring higher. If he performs low, the
name goes down.
You know it goes down, but he should be able to handle the pressure. He's handled way more than all of this pressure at Napoli. I mean, he's had like back and forth and all of it, and he handled pressure well. Coming to the Turkish league, we didn't expect that he was going to score all of these goals, but look at him in the Turkish league. So let him go prove himself. Maybe at Chelsea, I think Chelsea would not be a bad fit for him. And for Isak, maybe he should just remain at Newcastle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Newcastle is still a top side.
Manchester United need a striker. Where do you see them getting that?
They can't get any of these 3 guys. These guys will be looking forward to playing the Champions League.
Arsenal, Manchester United will be playing in Champions League, or might be playing in Champions League.
Let's wait and see.
It's the same thing with Chelsea.
But these guys are currently there. You understand? It looks like they've sealed it. Yeah. I mean, when you check out
it just feels like days away compared to Manchester United, and deals are happening fast.
And for Chelsea, the likes of Chelsea, if they don't qualify for the Champions, they are still going to be in Europe. They will be playing in the Europa League. Not the best fit.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Manchester United
might not actually get Europe.
Yeah, if they lose
the final
to Tottenham. You understand? So, you know, players consider all of these things. They might look at the chances. Tottenham too, trying to fight and all of it. So, I think all of this move will be after the season is over. You understand? So, clubs will now be looking at, okay, now this is our CV now. Come here. You're going to be playing in the Champions League. You have this quality of player. So that's what I think about all of these guys. But most of them will make good moves. Definitely.
All right. Most of them will make good moves, definitely. And that is all we are saying. That it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride on Complete Sports this afternoon. From the hour of 3 p.m., we've been here, and we are closing it now on the hour of 5 p.m. We've been around the world, talk about National Sport Festival. We've talked about our guys in Europe, local leagues. We've talked about everything. And we're wrapping it up with transfer stories. We want to say a very big thank you to everyone who's been part of this show. Starting from my brother here, who's sitting right across the table. Bobola.
Yeah. it's been nice doing this with you, talking about some of these leagues. As much as we didn't get to talk about the MPFL, but the MPFL is going to be next
Definitely.
week. Yeah, next week. So we're going to be talking about it extensively for the guys that
it will have been over by then.
Yeah,
we'll know exactly
we'll talk about
went
what
wrong.
Is happening. Yeah. So for guys that are really interested in the MPFL, just because of our time, we're not able to talk about it. So we'll talk about it extensively. Daniel, thank you so much. I mean, for having me here. It's nice doing it with you guys. And for all the guys in the comments, just keep on supporting Melody 100.7 FM. We've got amazing programs coming up and next. Thank you so much, Daniel.
And I want to say a big thank you once again for the guys in the comment section. I mean, you guys have been incredible. Lot of comments today, and we've managed to get through all of them. Don't you forget, it's Melody 100.7 FM. If you haven't followed, just hit the follow icon already, and just make sure you also look for that bell icon. It's up there. When you hit the bell icon, what happens is that anytime we are live, you get to see it. You get notified that we are live. Yes, hit the bell icon. It's still Melody 100.7 FM. Also on YouTube, go follow us on all our social, so you can be up to date on all our programs. Yes, after this right now, a lot of programs still coming in to keep you very, very busy and keep on giving you a very wonderful weekend. On behalf of everyone that has made it a success, let me start from, of